Sucked up our battery. Give her some fuel. Starter wire. Here we go. There you have it. It still runs. I couldn't leave you hanging like that. It's not right. Welcome back to RICO'S Garage, where we've somehow managed to turn the shop into a total freaking mess. It looks like Toby Joe's Dick House in here. And I know I promised you that we would load this thing up on a trailer and take it to work and wash it with a steam cleaner and get it all cleaned off and then take the engine out. Well, it's Indiana, it's November, it's cold outside. And I am not taking this thing, or anything for that matter, to go pressure wash it until the temperature is at least above my age. So, we're just going to pull it out and worry about cleaning it later. So, it's pretty much there right now. Cut the exhaust, take the bellows bolts out, converter bolts, motor mount bolts, cut the power steering lines, cut the fuel lines, throttle linkage, probably a couple ground straps I forgot about, but it's close. So I'm going to grab my hacking tools and get this thing out of here. So follow along. Let's get this ugly jewel ready to be hacked out of here. Second favorite tool right here. Second only to the air chisel, of course. Even though it's not at all what this video was about, it's more entertainment than anything. I know some of you are watching it looking for some tips and tricks on pulling a 12 valve, whether it be out of your daily driver that you need to rebuild, or if it's a project owner like this truck is. So I'm going to stop right now and show you something that a lot of you may not know when it comes time to separate your engine from your transmission. This is also beneficial for when you're pulling the automatic transmission out of your Dodge truck, which if you own a Dodge truck long enough, you're going to be pulling the automatic transmission out. When you go to separate the transmission and engine, you're going to want to pull the bolts out of the torque converter. You do not want to pull the converter out with the engine. You will make a hell of a mess when you do it. To aid you in doing that, you can see two things here. There's this open hole, which your truck will have this rubber plug that I've already removed. I took the plug out and then I remembered maybe I should tell you guys about this. Two things that's going to help you. This hole right here and this access panel. Take the rubber plug out and they make this tool. This is a what they call a Cummins barring tool, and it will actually go inside this hole. That engages, that tool there engages the teeth of the flywheel. You can see it has the splines on it, or teeth rather, to match the flywheel. So that will go in there, and then a 1/2 inch ratchet or breaker bar. Do not use an impact gun. It'll just tear up the tool. Half-inch ratchet or breaker bar will help you turn the engine over. We'll remove this plate right here, two 10mm bolts. That will give us access to the converter bolts. So we'll spin the engine over, we'll see a bolt head, take the converter bolt out. Spin the engine over again, converter bolt. So on and so forth till we get all the bolts out. That way, when we separate the engine transmission, the converter stays in the transmission and we don't dump at least a gallon of transmission fluid all over the place, which will make a hell of a mess. So, just thought I'd stop and show that to you real quick. If you look right in there, I can't really get a good shot, but right there, there's your converter bolt. Also, I'll confess to you, the barring tool works better when you're underneath if you have an assistant. I don't have an assistant, and since our front end's wide open, I'm just going off one of the balancer bolts. So if you don't have the barring tool and you got the room, this would be a little tougher with the front end all the way in there, but where there's a will, there's a way. So I'm just going to turn it this way and then take my converter bolts out. Because limited room I've got here, it's going to take forever. So speeding up the process this way. So that just goes to show you, you don't have to have the special tool. But I figured while we was in there, I'd show it to you. Now you know what that's for, and you know the way to do it without the special tool. So now you know what the hole's there for, how the barring tool works, and you also know how to do it if you don't have the tool. So you're covered either way. 16mm socket, take your converter bolt out. Upon investigating, even though I can see the bell housing bolts from the top, it's actually going to be easier to get underneath them with the impact extension of the wobble socket. So I raised it up a little bit, locked it up. Now a few of you may be asking, okay, you've got a lift here, why don't you lift the truck up? Now, two reasons. Actually, more than that. The two main ones, number one, if I pull the truck up, set the lift and everything, I don't have room on this north wall to get the cherry picker in here and lift everything up. Normally when I do engine jobs, I spin them around facing towards the overhead door. But it's cold outside, it's warm in here, I'm not opening that door, losing all the heat, turning everything around, lucky with all that. Number two, we got a lot of weight in the back of this thing, so it's totally off center. The 1-ton dually is pretty much maxing this lift anyway, let alone with an unbalanced load, so it's just quicker to raise it up, put some wood blocks underneath of it, so we don't have jack stands in the way, and get it done. If you're going to do this, be careful, do so at your own risk, and be smart about it, you'll be fine. Back wheels are chopped, it's in park, only up just a few inches, it's fine. I'm going to go dig out the transmission jack, support the transmission, get the bell bolts out, chain it, take it out. Only more reason for not using the lift, I don't have a high lift transmission jack yet. Still on the 1-2 lift. Motor mounts. 21 on the nut, 18 on the bolt. The frame mounts are actually slotted, so we're just going to back the bolts out, hopefully lift it up. Okay. Everything's out. Bell housing bolts, motor mount bolts, all the plumbing as far as I know. But we've ran into an issue. Dodge, in their infinite wisdom, decided to build this cowling to where the engine is underneath here. Now I've heard that on a truck you're going to put the motor back in, that you can actually remove these rubber plugs underneath the cowling. There's one there, There's another one somewhere. Back in there, you can't see it. Those rubber plugs will actually aid you in getting this off and the last two rocker covers, and that will help you sneak the engine up and around. I'm not going to do that. The lifting hook I need is right underneath there. So, with the help of my friend Sawzall, we're going to go total butchery on this one. We're going to cut this freaking cowling out so I can lift this engine out. Do not do this on your daily driver unless you know a really good body man. Put it back together. We don't care about putting this one back together. So let me go get my little friend and we'll set this to music and you can enjoy the carnage. Dodge purist, that'd be a good time to go grab a soda. Why did Dodge just do that in the factory? Access granted. There's our lifting eye. There's our clearance for a rocker cover. See? Dodge could have made a trap door. Hinge it up. But we don't care. Alright. Now we got access to our hook. We got another hook up front here. Let's get some chains on this thing and see if it'll come out. We have here at our disposal our handy Harbor Freight 2-ton engine hoist. Now, this engine weighs anywhere from 750 to 1,000 pounds depending on which internet site you look at. We're going to err on the side of caution, go with 1,000. We'll mount to our 1-ton setting, which according to South American math is approximately 2,000 pounds. But the main thing to stress here is be careful. You're dealing with a lot of weight swinging. This thing's not just going to pluck itself out, it's going to be dry and be carrying on. So be careful. Somebody out there needs you. Somebody out there wants you to come home and do the work day. Try not to disappoint them. Okay, engine hooked up. There goes nothing. that's about all we have time for today on Rico's Garage. Engine out. There's still a pile of work left to be done to this thing. That's going to have to get a bath before we even think about touching it. That transmission's going to come out and get sold. The rear end's going to come out. We're going to put it up for sale. Really seriously thinking about taking those frame mounts out, and I might use those because to me the Dodge mounts look a lot more substantial than the GM mounts I've seen people using. But I don't know yet. And in order for you to know that, you're going to have to keep watching Rico's Garage. So, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you don't like it, give me a thumbs down. But either way, I want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments. Share this video if you found it interesting and you think somebody else might learn from it. If you learned a thing or two from it, I want to hear that as well. So, keep watching, and I'll catch you next week.